Welcome back. It feels appropriate that I did this on this day because I kind of pulled myself out of a little rut this morning, and I'll tell you about how I pulled myself out of a rut a couple weeks ago and how I think anybody can do it using these 3 steps. This is how to pull yourself out of a funk. All right, so quick recap is this is like half vlog, half one of those lists of things of how to do things better. It is about 1:30 in New York City. My name is Tim, and the morning has been kind of my usual morning so far.
Here are the nominees for first person.
POV. You're a 45-year-old corporate schmuck on a Manhattan-bound F train when the email comes in from the streamies. They want you to tell the good people out there about the nominees in the category of first person. Kinda makes sense in a weird-ass way. You tell everyone in your 8 hours of meetings. Most of your TikToks are in the third person, but you did meet Danny at Citi Field and Ryan at the pier that one time. It's the strangest world when you're a dad in your 40s and say things like, the nominees for first person are...
Ryan Trahan.
How many times have you went in them?
This is just number 2. 2 minutes and 3 seconds or 30?
2 minutes and 10 seconds now. And your waffles are also burnt.
They're burnt.
Dad, what I've been doing is I've been
That thing
drying.
can stay outside.
What?
That thing can stay outside.
Oh, I've been drying
I've been recording things as I usually do because I'm like obsessed with the process now and I'm never not. But I haven't spoken to the camera yet, and I think that that's part of the funk. At least for me it is. Like the energy level's just not there, and for the most part I start to feel kind of small. Probably makes sense to a lot of people. I think those are pretty common things to have go through your head when you feel like you're in a funk. And usually if I'm in a bit of a funk, this time of the day is the time where I'm probably least likely to start to, and part of the reason why I just usually don't use my actual audio on anything that I do on TikTok is because I just kind of want to capture what I have to capture but really not worry about the rest, especially if I have to walk around public holding my hand out like a goofball recording myself. But I'm kind of forcing it right now because I think that that's part of how you get yourself out of a funk. And number 1 is describing it. Try to think about it creatively. Like, what does the feeling actually, what is the sensation? Do you feel stuck? Do you feel lost? But then try to dive deeper. Try to get as explicit with it as possible. I think that that is step 1 to pulling yourself out of a funk. Describing it as specifically as you can and as creatively as you can. For me, I'm trying to do so many things these days that it makes it feel like I'm failing from multiple angles at any given moment. It was kind of like I've been spinning plates and things are going well and people are like, wow, look at all the plates you can spin, and then they start to get wobbly. And even if one doesn't fall, they start to get wobbly and people are like, and they just get quiet, and then you start to become very in tune with where things are slightly off and you start to panic, right? You're like, wait a minute, I was doing really well, what happened? So for me, the analogy and the way that I used to describe it as specifically as I could is that it felt like I was spinning plates and some of them were starting to get wobbly. Number two, deep dive on the artist of your choosing. I think this is incredibly important and helpful. It will give you time to absorb and reflect. So for me, that was the Strokes. And the reason why I picked the Strokes is because it's a band that's been with me for a long time. 45 years old, so I remember very, very, very well when they first came out back in 2001. Deep diving on the lyrics and just like letting it kind of soak in, I found to be super helpful. It also allowed me to be more reflective. That can be an artist, that can be music, that can be just something that's going to make you feel a bit more safe and also help you feel a bit more less alone, so to speak. For some reason, I feel like that can help pull it out. Even my friend in there, Lisa, who I usually get my salads from on a day-to-day basis, basically just said the same thing of like, How you feeling right now? We both kind of had that same kind of moment. So if you've been able to express it as specifically as you can, and then you gorge on something that you love, whether it's art, music, etc., then come back to how you are explaining what it is. And then number 3 is have a simple story about it. Then you can decide whether or not you're okay with the story, right? So as I felt like I was spinning a whole bunch of different plates, the reason why I really felt stuck is I was going through that and I felt like I was kind of stuck in these different, almost like little Venn diagrams, right? So my simple story was, I felt like I was failing on multiple angles, and I also felt stuck in regards to who I could talk to. Simple story right there. That's why I was in a rut. Just to go a little deeper into that in case this helps. So I felt like I'm in the middle, right? And I've got all of these different worlds around me, especially right now. My family world, my work world, my friends world, and my creative world. So then I felt stuck. Like I can't tell my family about my creative problems. I can't tell my friends about my work problem. And it just became a vicious cycle. I know that I could, and that's the point, right? You kind of come to this place where you tell the story, and if you have this simple narrative as to what is making you stuck, then you can be like, well, wait a minute, I'm choosing to be that way. And then ask yourself, are you okay with that? Because inherently within these things, and I think when we're in ruts, we're choosing to accept these circumstances. That might be the hardest part in all of it. I could pick up the phone and I know that there are people that I can lean on here to help out. And then you kind of decide like, all right, I don't want to be stuck anymore. And for anybody that's not on the TikTok side of things and is curious about the salad order, this is what it is. Sweet green every single day, just because it's delicious and it's easy to reorder. And yes, I got a quadruple cucumber, but that's basically the rest of it. Y'all don't need me to read that. Now this is the secret sauce. It's not about what we were talking about before, but like literally the secret sauce. By the way, for y'all that think I'm rolling around with like tripods or some shit, this was the tripod I was just using. Well, that's an unexpected treat. Got a text message from a dude who goes by the name of Soul Street Sneaker Co. He's been in the sneaker game forever, yo. Oh, I see him. I see you. Oh, damn.
This is the Utopia Friends and Family version.
Oh my God.
With the Utopia lace lock.
Damn.
And I guess Raging on that side, and then as the Utopia on that side, the tag on the tongue here has like a hieroglyphic thing on it.
Wow. Are those, did those just come in women's sizes too, or those men's?
Yeah, no, these came in women's sizes
Wow.
too. These came, Spike Lee gives me a hat that he autographed, right? And I'm so pissed because I'm next and I'm supposed to buy the shoe.
Yeah.
And I don't want the fucking hat, and I throw the hat in the air.
Thanks for using Unified Conferencing. Welcome. Unified Record.
Usually there's a bunch of meetings and stuff that I'll bring y'all into, but not today. Today was bonkers. But we're out. Kelly is out of town with Evelyn, so I'm gonna take y'all to a place called Yama because I've been around the block for a minute. I've been going to this joint for like 20 years. So let's go pick up some sushi and go home and finish this up. I mentioned this in the last one, but getting recognized in the city is one of the greatest parts of this. And not because of the acknowledgement, but because of, that's just real human interaction. When people stop and they say, hey, you've made me more comfortable with becoming an adult, you've inspired me to move here. As much as I fucking hate walking around with this thing in my face and the looks that I get, knowing that there's like an actual positive, tangible impact. Yo, if you see me in New York, 1000% feel free to come up and say hi, 1000%. If you see me running and you want to come run next to me for a little bit, I'm cool with that. Y'all are just, you make this happen. It's y'all, it's not me. So I would say, especially with that in mind, and getting back to the point of this thing of how to get yourself out of a rut, sometimes you need to go through that deeper exploration because you're like, I don't get it. There's so many things that are going good. How do I get to the core of this? And I think the quicker you can go through those steps of identifying it, gorging on something that's gonna help, and then getting really explicit with what the story is and then asking yourself if you're okay with making those decisions, like that just helps so that you can get back out there and keep doing the things. We're on 17th Street between Irving and Park. And I lived here with a guy named Noah, super dope railroad joint. Things were going so good at ABC Sports at the time. And then I met Kelly, and things got even better. It's so funny in those situations. I want to set up like all kinds of different shots, but I always feel so goofy doing it. All right, we had number 2 for the day getting off the subway. I think that was number 2. I don't know, I always feel so socially awkward in it. So if we ever run into each other and I'm socially awkward, it's just because I'm socially awkward. Oh, empty house. Not my favorite, but this is what it is. All right, so here's the order. We got 2 tuna, 2 fluke, 2 salmon, 2 avocado, 2, what is that? Branzini. Tuna Naruto roll and spicy jalapeno something cucumber seaweed salad tuna roll. Edamame. I hope that helps. And I don't know if this is gonna be the closing or not. Now it's time for snack hour.